I grew up in a cult. Given the nature of all of this, past, present, and future, I find it best to keep my anonymity as much as possible. Only a fair few basics will be disclosed, and any questions as to who I am or where I am will be overlooked. Any and all names will be changed, not to protect the guilty but to protect myself against them. As it stands, I am in an undisclosed location living on my own, begging for answers that are sure to remain as hidden as my identity. My age, country of origin, name, and identity will never be revealed to any of you, and any attempts to provide me assistance outside of the internet will prove ineffective to you and to me. I've come here to not only try and figure out the events that are occurring to and around me, but to get my story, no matter how unknown, out to the public. Think of this as an interactive diary of sorts and nothing more. That being said, please remember that this is for more than entertainment purposes for you and more for myself to finally try and solve the riddles that envelope my life. I was born into a cult. I have suffered ritualistic abuse from those who were, allegedly, there to protect and teach me from infancy into adulthood. The memories of my childhood are empty. As a means to protect myself, or so I gather, I have subconsciously buried the abuse that happened to me as a child far within myself. Of course, every so often a few faraway recollections trickle through the thick webs I have woven and try to claim me. Unfortunately for them, I have become strong enough to push them away for a while until a new memory resurfaces. To say this is an exhausting, but perfected, practice is an overwhelming understatement. Of course, it isn't the memories alone that have made me crawl to you, a place anonymous enough for me to feel safe, it's what is happening now. I'll try to tie together as many threads of memories as I can. The most vivid early memory I have is one involving needles and ink. It was said, within the cult, that once a child hit 13 years of age they had begun their journey into adulthood and discovery. As a token of celebratory joy on this special day, the priest and priestess would hold a ceremony for the child in question and carve the symbol of our faith, our blood force, and our powerful Father into the wrist with needles. Ink would fill the wound, and a permanent mark of this major step in life would forever remain. I, like the other children before me, have had the mark forever embedded into my skin, a mark of devotion. The pain of the rite is as eternal as the tattoo itself, which leads me to believe that the two working in tandem is why that is the first and most vivid recollection of my past that I have. The other memories only begin to slither in when the fatigue of days without sleep begins to slither in, or the alcohol overpowers me and forces me to shut my eyes. Which is why I've come to you now. I wrestled the idea for a few days, but finally I've made the bold move to bring this all to light. Last Sunday was what begun the unraveling. Nearing 3 days of no sleep, apt title for this subreddit, and a bottle of vodka later, I finally had begun to run out of steam and curl up in this tiny cell of a home I currently inhabit. Unfortunately, blackouts only seem to erase memories of the day and do nothing for my dream world, a world I once would escape to as a child but now have to run from. As I slept, the vivid images of forceful abuse all children were given to instill fear bubbled up to the surface, something that has become far more persistent in the past couple of weeks. The images of crying children and welts, bruises, and lacerations decorating their, and my, malnourished bodies is still haunting me, but perhaps what haunts me most is what I awoke to. After so long of running from reality and escaping to dreams, it seems I no longer have an escape plan. I'm not sure if in my fitful sleep this was a self-induced mark or if someone found me, but in my desperate search for answers I am bringing you a photograph of the bruise. Perhaps someone here can give me an answer as to whether or not I've done this to myself or something more sinister is happening. Odd occurrences are taking place each time I manage to shut the world out for a few hours, and so I've begun chronicling these details. I hope someone can give me an answer, but I'm not sure anyone can. Bruise from a few nights ago. Photo. I hope that link works. I've never posted here before, so please excuse me if it doesn't work. So, what do you think? Can anyone help me? Does this look self-inflicted or something else? I was thinking maybe I fell down drunk at one point before sleeping, but the placement seems odd to me. Updates will come when I find the strength.